First Alert commitment to you is the power of 5 meteorologists, all the tools, the latest technology, and the first team of 5 meteorologists. News 12's First Alert weather on your side.
This is not you.
It's not me.
Real people, real problems, real life solutions. Investigate TV Plus. When you had heard.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12, first at 4.
And we begin today with the search for a suspect wanted for murder in Richmond County, a deadly shooting that happened on Washington Road last Wednesday. John Loudon Jr. is the victim in this case. He was found dead in the road. 32-year-old Robert Ward, on your screen there, has active warrants for murder and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. He's known to hang out in the hotels along Washington Road here in Augusta. Ward is considered armed and dangerous. Call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office if you know where he might be. To weather now, and a beautiful start to the work week. Temperatures on the rise out there. Let's send it over to First Alert meteorologist Emily Acton with a look at the timing for some rain into forecast.
Yes, unfortunately, Richard, rain is on the way, but good news is this afternoon and this evening looking beautiful out there. This really just a picture-perfect afternoon. A little bit of cloud cover, but those are those really pretty cumulus clouds, in my opinion. Check out the temperature, though. 76. Very warm this afternoon. Again, a beautiful spring day for us. Everywhere across the CSRA is seeing those 70s, 72 right now in Evans, but 76 here in Augusta, Waynesboro, Millen, Bar at 73. And we are, again, expecting those rain chances, Richard, there. Thank you. Did you want to come do my job?
I'm not going anywhere. You just keep talking.
We're seeing some showers again starting to form over the southeast, but we're dry here in the CSRA for the rest of the evening and overnight tonight. Things are going to change, though, for our Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'll have a check on your forecast coming up soon.
Emily, thanks a lot, and sorry about the interruption. Fire crews from several agencies putting out a residential fire in North Augusta. When our crew showed up about an hour ago, smoke was still seen pouring into the air from this home. This was the scene around 3 o'clock this afternoon on Spartan Drive, and you can see just a heavy smoke in that area. You can see North Augusta Public Safety directing traffic near that fire. Dispatch says fire crews from North Augusta, Belvedere, Midland Valley, Langley, and Beach Island all teamed up to work to put out these flames. You could just see the smoke coming up through the trees in that shot as well. North Augusta Public Safety says only one mobile home was damaged, but it did create a brush fire around it. The agency says the owner was actually burning trash and thought it was put out and left the home, and that fire erupted. The U.S. Supreme Court unanimously ruling former President Donald Trump will stay on the ballots of all 50 states. The High Court rejecting an attempt by Colorado to disqualify the former president because of his actions on January the 6th. Nicole Skanga is outside the Supreme Court with more on this legal win for the GOP frontrunner just ahead of Super Tuesday.
Thank you very much.
Former President Donald Trump is praising the Supreme Court for its unanimous decision to restore his name to all 2024 presidential primary ballots.
I think it will go a long way toward bringing our country together.
Voters in Colorado had tried to remove Trump from their state's ballot. They argued an insurrection clause in the Constitution's 14th Amendment disqualified him from holding office because of his attempts to undo his 2020 election loss, culminating in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. But Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled only Congress can decide how and when this constitutional provision is implemented.
And the rationale here really is we don't want states to be able to do this. You heard the justices coalesce around the idea that we're very worried states could do it alone, create this kind of patchwork when it comes to federal elections.
Today's decision leaves open the possibility that Congress could refuse to certify the election of a candidate who participated in insurrection. The court also sidestepped the issue of insurrection altogether.
The Supreme Court's decision today did not exonerate him. They did not say that January 6th wasn't an insurrection, and they did not say that he didn't engage in insurrection.
The Supreme Court has agreed to weigh in on whether Trump can be tried criminally for his actions on January 6th. Next month, the court will hear arguments about whether Trump is entitled to broad immunity from prosecution for acts allegedly committed while in office. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Washington.
Also today, Alan Weissenberg, the former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, pleading guilty to perjury charges today. Under that deal, he pled guilty to 2 charges related to his testimony during the New York Attorney General's civil investigation into Trump in 2020. That drops the 3 other charges he was facing. He'll be sentenced to 5 months in jail. Weissenberg also pleading guilty to tax fraud back in 2022. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office searching for 62-year-old Gerald Scott Ethers. Family says they spoke to him last Wednesday at his home on Ellis Street. If you have any information about Scott Ethers' whereabouts, call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, and there's the number on the screen, 706-821-1000. The investigation continues in the shooting death of a man in Johnston. The Edgefield County coroner says 35-year-old Ricky Martin Jr. of Sumter was shot several times at an apartment complex on May Street. We've reached out to the Edgefield County Sheriff's Office to find more and to see if any suspects are named yet. We do know the agency, along with Johnston Police and SLED, are investigating this case. We now know the cause of death for a Jefferson Academy student. Carter Gay died Thursday night. The coroner now telling us Carter was in a field near his home with a gun when it fired, hitting him. The shooting is ruled accidental. Since his death, this tight-knit community has been mourning his loss. The junior was a football player and on the shotgun team at the academy. Students at the school made a memorial for Carter on campus on Friday. There's a possible ship plane. To a heartbreaking story out of North Carolina, where a Cherokee County mom has been arrested and charged with murdering her 4-year-old twin sons. Genevieve Springer is being held without bond on 2 counts of murder. The boy's father telling investigators he went to his ex-wife's home Saturday morning to take custody of the kids when he found their bodies. He says he last saw them alive February 26th. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office is investigating that case. A dog rescued from Iran is now helping other pups when it comes to adoption. We'll share her story coming up next, first at 4.
Well, we can expect a nice evening in store for us, but showers are on the way as early as tomorrow afternoon. I'll have a check on your forecast coming up.
Time for more details. Sponsored by Hobbytown Augusta.
What a time they're having out in California. Snow continues falling in the Sierra Nevada, causing travel issues there. This was a standstill yesterday. Highway 50, a snowslide trapped a lot of vehicles near Echo Summit. The area has been slammed by several feet of snow just over the last several days. Highway 50, by the way, has since reopened, but officials out there warn that traffic is moving slowly in both directions, and you can understand why. By the way, Interstate 80 remains closed as crews are battling difficult snow conditions out there. Emily, I think it's beautiful, but they are over it.
Oh, I think so too. And I know that you said feet of snow. They're talking 5 to 7 feet of snow.
Wow.
Crazy numbers there. And that's only fallen over the past 3 days. So very quickly, snowstorm there. But they seem to kind of know what to do there. But
they do
yeah.
have chains on their tires. I think that's required right now. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thankfully, we're not seeing anything like that here in the CSRA. Very warm afternoons for us, and looking ahead to the next 7 days, this is what we have going on for us. Again, we're going to warm up into the 70s by tomorrow afternoon, and going to see a little bit of rainfall there. Lasting throughout the work week, again, we can expect to see those temperatures continue to stay around average for this time of year, but looking at rainfall chances, that's not going to come into play until later on in the day tomorrow, really lasting into the overnight hours. So, again, things are going to be clear for the rest of our evening this evening, and then temperatures will start to rise again tomorrow afternoon, and that's when the rain chances are coming into play, coming from the south. Again, some low pressure is moving in from the Gulf. That's going to push through early tomorrow morning, so give yourself a couple extra minutes out there on the roadways for your Wednesday morning, I should say. Not tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. That's when those showers are moving through, and that's going to linger on into the later afternoon hours, but should be out of our hair for the evening and even into our Thursday. Thursday is looking great. Let's take a bigger look at what we can expect. Again, those showers moving through later on in the day Tuesday, lasting throughout the morning hours Wednesday. Should be out of our hair, though, for the evening Wednesday. And then Thursday looking beautiful. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny sky conditions. And we're going to see that chance of rain come back into the picture later on in our work week, really late Friday, lasting throughout the day. Saturday, unfortunately, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder there. When it's all said and done, we can expect to see those rainfall totals again by the end of Wednesday, getting right around that 1-inch mark, Richard.
Hey, and Emily, check this out. We're about a month away from a big event in the sky, and states getting the best view of that total solar eclipse are bracing for big crowds. Not so much here in Augusta, but in the middle part of our nation. Earlier today, Arkansas's governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, giving an update on preparations going on there. Parts of Arkansas are in the path of totality. So around 1:45 local time on the afternoon of April the 8th, Masters Monday, by the way, the skies will go completely dark there. Arkansas is expecting more than 1 million visitors to head that way to see it.
Next month's eclipse has the potential to be one of the largest tourism events in our state history, and we want to make sure that we are prepared for the influx of visitors that we expect to come here to the state. State agencies have been aware of this event and preparing for the last several months, and it's an exciting moment for the state of Arkansas.
She says the goal is to make the event fun and safe for everybody. Transportation crews in Arkansas preparing the roads for extra traffic even. State police and the National Guard are on standby just in case of emergencies during their total solar eclipse. In Augusta, just a partial eclipse, but interesting that it does happen. Masters Monday. After surviving horrific animal abuse in the Middle East, a dog adopted by a Maryland woman is not only living her best life, but also helping other dogs in need. Jennifer Franciotti has the story of survival.
She looks like a polar bear, and she acts like a polar bear.
It just might be her spirit animal. Sudi used to have more tail to wag, more of her ears to cock. She'd give you her paw, but only has part of one left. Happy now in her Howard County home, Sudi had a horrific start. Once a farm dog in Iran, her former owner removed pieces of her body as punishment.
She broke her leg and broke her hip. Angel saved her, saw it happen, put her in a wheelbarrow.
It would be the start of a journey from the Middle East to Virginia, where Karen Amos adopted Sudi from the Rescue Homeward Trails. And you can read all about her story and the organization in this month's People Magazine online edition.
They do a lot of rescue all over the world. We have saved dogs from meat farms, from Invigo beagles that have been tested on.
Karen serves as a foster mom for a variety of rescue organizations. Right now, she's also taking care of Eloise, a Chihuahua whose puppies are almost up for adoption from Almost Home in Howard County. Karen says Sudi has become quite the helper.
I will have 5 or 6 puppies, and they just all, Sudi has such good energy, and maybe she was a mom. They will all gravitate to her, and puppies will just be laying on her. She teaches them how to play. She teaches them, you know, she's almost like a second mom to them. It's a win-win for the puppies and for Sudi.
Karen says Sudi doesn't know she has a disability. She has a system of cushions to get around indoors.
She runs, she has gotten accustomed to her body, she knows what she can and can't do.
And she loves everyone.
She loves everybody that she meets. She's such an inspiration. I get up every morning and I see Sudi, and it just makes my day better.
Just hard to imagine that kind of abuse for a dog, but if you'd like to learn more about the rescue operation that helped save Sudi, head to almosthomedogs.org. You can even find out how to adopt Eloise or one of her puppies there. Up next, a warning for parents when it comes to letting your kids go and spend the night with a sleepover at a friend's house. One father facing some serious charges when we come back.
And conditions are dry and partly cloudy here. Some rain, though, is on the way, along with some warmer temperatures. I'll tell you about it coming up next.
Foundation 7 repair experts.
Well, a very spring-like pattern in store for us for the next 7 days. Tomorrow will warm up into those lower 70s. Rain chances will come into play, though, late in the afternoon and through the evening, and that will last until the early morning hours Wednesday. So definitely give yourself a couple extra minutes out there on the road Wednesday morning. But again, for the first half of the day for our Tuesday, things are looking pretty good for us. But like you can see behind me, rain is in the forecast for our 7-day at least, and what we can expect expect tomorrow, or by Wednesday, those those rainfall totals will reach anywhere from about 3/4 of an inch to an inch, but we're not said and done. After that, we can expect to see rainfall move through Saturday, late Friday into early Saturday, lasting throughout the day for the first part of our weekend, and that's when we could see anywhere from about 3, maybe some spots locally, that 4-inch rainfall totals there. So very wet pattern in store for us, but we can see some warm afternoons as well, Richard.
All right, kind of a mix there this week. Feels good out there today, Emily. Thank you. A father facing some shocking allegations, accused of drugging 3 12-year-old girls at his daughter's sleepover. Court documents say he laced their smoothies with benzodiazepine. The prescription medication is used to treat things like insomnia and panic attacks. You're looking at court documents outlining those allegations. The girls say after drinking the smoothies, they felt groggy. Some of them blacked out. One of the girls was able to stay awake and sent an urgent text message to her mom. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. Then the girl alerted a family friend who came to pick her up. Parents of the girls got to the home, insisted the father let them inside. All 3 testing positive for benzodiazepine. The Oregon father is pleading not guilty. CVS and Walgreens, the 2 biggest pharmacy chains in the U.S., will start selling the abortion pill mifepristone in certain stores in several states. Following a rule change at the FDA, the medication will be available in states where abortion is legal. Walgreens is expected to begin dispensing the pills within a week in New York, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts, California, and Illinois as well. While Georgia and South Carolina are not on the list now, there are plans to expand to more states. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Grounder had this to say on CBS Mornings.
Still need a prescription. So this is not over the counter, to be very clear. You still need a prescription. But in the past, access has been either through specialty clinics, which stock the medication, or through telemedicine and mail order pharmacy. And so it really does open up avenues for women to access.
The cash price for that pill expected to be right around $79, although some women will be able to use the health insurance they have to pay for it. In Georgia, abortion is legal up to the detection of a heartbeat. In South Carolina, you can have an abortion up to 6 weeks of the pregnancy. The first over-the-counter birth control pill approved in the U.S., available in stores and online this month. Opill can be bought directly from its own website, opill.com, in the coming days. It could take a few weeks for the medication to reach pharmacy shelves. The suggested retail price, right around $20 for a 1-month supply, $50 for a 3-month supply. The company says when taken as directed, Opill is 98% effective at preventing pregnancy. That's in line with the effectiveness of most birth control pills you have to have a prescription for. Severe depression can be hard to treat, but deep brain stimulation may offer some hope. Michael George explains how this works.
Emily Hollenbeck suffers from severe depression that often left her barely able to move.
My family has a very long history with mental illness and depression specifically. My parents actually both took their lives before I was 30.
Hollenbeck tried everything from medication to electroconvulsive therapy before having electrodes implanted in her brain.
At first I was blown away because the concept of it seemed so just intense, like it's brain surgery.
She's now one of a few hundred deep brain stimulation for depression. Dr. Brian Coppell directs Mount Sinai's Center for Neuromodulation.
Very, very simply, DBS, deep brain stimulation, is a pacemaker for the brain.
It is getting small amounts of current. We deliver it at 130 hertz, and it's on all the time.
Hollenbeck says the effects were almost immediate. The heaviness lifted, and she was able to find pleasure in the everyday.
So a cafe or a cool restaurant, like these things wouldn't even be on my radar with depression. They wouldn't even be possibilities.
She regularly sends brain data to researchers, logging onto a tablet and placing a remote above the pacemaker-type device in her chest.
Layers of data going from self-report, scales, to how you look, how you sound, how you move.
Hollenbeck still takes medication for depression and needs ongoing care, but she's convinced of this.
If I hadn't had DBS, I'm pretty sure I would not be alive today.
Researchers hope DBS will soon be approved for millions of Americans with treatment-resistant depression. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Some doctors are skeptical about the treatment, raising concerns about potential risk after surgery, including stroke or infection. Emily.
Well,
We're seeing high temperatures this afternoon reach those middle and upper 70s, and that warming trend is going to continue. I'll have a check on your forecast coming up.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
People don't really realize how much of an impact.
At the Good Feet store.
Well, one morning, me and my wife were headed to work. The bus came out right in front of us, and then I woke up hours later in the emergency room. I was worried about the health and well-being of my wife. My son contacted Austin Jackson. They took all the pressure off. They said they will handle everything. And when they meant everything, they meant everything. I would recommend Austin Jackson Law Firm because they relieve you from all the pressure. Get Austin Jackson, the Augusta guy.
There's nothing.
Well, we've warmed up into those middle and upper 70s this afternoon, and we'll slowly but surely cool off overnight tonight, but really not anything super drastic. We can expect to see temperatures bottom out in those middle 50s, so relatively warm start to our Tuesday. Again, things are really not looking too bad for the start of our week. Now, rain chances do come into play, though, by late Tuesday night, really into Wednesday, when we're going to see the effects of that. We could see anywhere from about 3/4 of an inch to an inch on Wednesday. And then we're going to see another round of rainfall late Friday into the early morning hours Saturday, lasting throughout the greater part of the day, unfortunately, for our Saturday. And that could bring us anywhere from 3, maybe some spots locally could see that 4-inch mark for, again, that rainfall there. But good news is warm afternoons for us. It's a very spring-like forecast for us, Richard. We are gonna spring forward. There we go. Saturday into
Little
Sunday.
more daylight's on the way. There's much more ahead. First to 4 continues after the break.
It's the Rooms to Go.
Since 19...
Now at Rooms to Go.
You're watching News 12, First at 4, continues.
And we are back with a live look here at Grovetown at I-20. A beautiful spring-like afternoon as we watch this new diverging diamond and the folks who are busy diverging this afternoon. Emily, it's the kind of day if you had a convertible, that top should be back and celebrate an early springtime down south. It is a nice day out there.
Oh, it is a beautiful afternoon. And, you know, I really just wish that we could see these afternoons on the weekends, but we'll take what we can get. For a Monday, I don't think any of us are complaining. For the sky conditions, again, beautiful out there. Sitting at 76. Great start to our work weekend. Feels like 76. Those winds are calm out there. Not seeing any rainfall for us, so that's some good news. Again, conditions are expected to remain dry for the rest of the evening, overnight, and throughout the greater part of the day tomorrow. But you can see some moisture off to our west there, and that's eventually going to track into our area. By the time the week's over, we can see anywhere from 3 to 4 inches of rainfall in some spots. And again, that's going to come late Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then again late Friday into Saturday. Richard, I'm going to have this all broken down for you coming up.
Looking forward to that, Emily. Thank you. In about an hour and a half from now, Richmond County school leaders will welcome parents and guardians for feedback on a 5-year plan affecting schools in the district. It would close some schools and consolidate others across Richmond County. So tonight, they want to hear from parents before making that decision. And tonight's meeting is happening at A. Bryan Mary Elementary. That's at 6 o'clock this evening. Officials will focus on how that could impact students from Garrett Elementary, Lake Forest Hills Elementary, A. Bryan Mary, and then Warren Road Elementary schools. And they're going to have more meetings at other schools during the week. Tomorrow's is at Spirit Creek Middle, then Wednesday's at Tuck Middle School, all of them starting at 6 o'clock. To find out more about the plan and which schools are being discussed at which meeting, check our website, wrdw.com. Voters in 15 states and It is another Masters Week tradition. Wrdw releasing part of its lineup today. This is video from last year's event. Always a good time. Cole Swindell will perform for the first time along with Augusta's own Black Dog. You can grab your tickets now on the website, wrdw.com. The night of fun and music comes up April the 9th in Evans at the Lady A Pavilion. It's for a good cause, too, raising money for First Tee of Augusta. They've been making a difference for kids through the game of golf for a couple of decades now. We have an update to that 5th Street Bridge vandalism we first told you about here last week. City leaders say everything should be cleaned up by tomorrow. The plan is to pressure wash damaged surfaces, but crews may have to paint over some of them. Right now, Augusta Engineering says there's no extra money when it comes to this type of cleanup when vandals damage the bridge. Tomorrow, Augusta University holding a career fair at the Goodwill Job Connection on Washington Road. Those positions include police officers, environmental services, nursing, dental assistant, and more. That's happening from 2 until 4 in the afternoon. You can make a clean sweep for a good cause. Salvation Army of Augusta teaming up with Doc's Porchside for its spring cleaning drive. This month, you can donate cleaning supplies for the Center of Hope. They need things like laundry detergent, pods, disinfecting wipes, dish detergent, paper towels, and more. The Salvation Army says those needs can go a long way.
We need help when it comes to keeping our facility clean for our clients, and they do their laundry with us as well, and so that kind of stuff we need help with to just make sure that our facility is clean and it is a good place for our clients to stay at.
You can donate to the Salvation Army's Center of Hope or Doc's Porchside on Washington Road in Augusta and the Grovetown location as well. Okay, imagine this. You're driving down the road, you glance in the back seat, and you come across this view. Look closely there. Yeah, there's a big snake. We'll show you what happened when she did, coming up here first at 4.
Oh, very, very scary there. We have a beautiful afternoon for us and shaping up to be a beautiful evening, but rain chances are in the near future. I'll let you know when, coming up.
We've been showing you some of the snow hitting Northern California. Several vehicles at South Lake Tahoe buried by snow yesterday. This video shows a car being pulled out of the snow on a highway there, and it took a tractor to do it, didn't it? That's a lot of equipment there. The road reopening shortly, though. Chain controls remain in place. You got to have chains on those tires. And they had a winter storm warning in effect for the greater Lake Tahoe area right through today. The skiers are loving it, Emily, but the drivers, not so much.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a mess there. And I know some of the skiers are enjoying it, but other places have actually closed their ski resorts, believe it or not, because of too much snow. So you know that that's a little bit excessive there. They're seeing anywhere from 5 to maybe even 7 feet in some spots of snow. Thankfully, we are not seeing anything like that here in the CSRA. We are nice and warm, partly cloudy, sitting in those middle 70s. They are definitely jealous over there in California, I'm sure. And we're going to continue this warming trend throughout the rest of our evening. Overnight, slowly but surely going to drop off into those middle 50s. So relatively mild start to our Tuesday. Really not looking too bad for the start of our week. Again, starting off dry for most of our week, or most of the start of the week, excuse me. And then we're going to see that rainfall come into play later on in the afternoon, really early to middle evening Tuesday. And then that's going to kind of take over in terms of rainfall widespread throughout the morning hours Wednesday. So give yourself a couple extra minutes, or go ahead and plan now. A couple extra minutes Wednesday morning. Just know that the roadways are going to be wet out there for the start of the day. Some lingering showers possible throughout the afternoon Wednesday, but should be completely out of our hair by Thursday. So let's take a bigger look at what we are seeing right now. Some rainfall over in Louisiana, southern Mississippi. That's going to kind of feed into this low pressure in the Gulf that's going to be bringing some showers to our area again later on in the evening Tuesday, lasting throughout the day Wednesday. And good news is by Thursday, things are looking great out there. We could see a few clouds in the sky, but overall, going to see plenty of sunshine warming up into those middle 70s. Really can't beat Thursday. But once we get later on into the evening Friday, lasting throughout the day Saturday. Some showers and thunderstorms. Again, likely really pinpointing Saturday. Going to be that chance of the most measurable rainfall. Now here through Wednesday, we'll see about 1 inch. But once we get into Friday and Saturday, we could see anywhere from 3 inches, possibly even 4 in some spots locally, Richard. So very wet pattern for us, but it's spring. It's to be expected.
Absolutely. Thanks, Emily. The mystery continues. Malaysia may begin a new... An Arizona woman gets the shock of her lifetime when she finds a rattlesnake in the backseat of her car. Gabriela Becerra reports.
First a laugh and then panic, and I lost my mind.
No warning rattle, not even a hiss.
And he turned around and he had seen a tongue kind of like flipping at him.
Milan Watts says she wouldn't have realized a rattlesnake was curled up in the back seat of her car, except her boyfriend happened to look behind him.
He's like, get out of the car. And so I freeze up because I'm like, when I get scared, I freeze.
Not knowing what to do, Watt called 911, but says she was told firefighters couldn't help since it wasn't a life-threatening emergency. Her boyfriend used a broken tree branch to fling the reptile free.
In a state where there's lots of critters and lots of things that can get into small spaces, personal spaces, to know what to do in that situation and who to call.
If you find a snake in your home or your car...
In a car, that's pretty unusual. Snakes, they're really, really good at getting just about anywhere they want to go.
There are wildlife rescues and even companies who will come to remove it 24/7.
Put it in the bucket and then, very carefully put the lid back on.
Nicholas Massimo with Snake Guru recommends people back away to a safe distance, but try to keep eyes on the snake until help arrives.
Very slow, calm movements. Try to not do anything that's really jerky and fast that can startle an animal.
They'll relocate the snake and even figure out why it might have slithered there in the first place.
Most of the time, it's there for a reason, whether that's food, water, or shelter.
A snake in Watt's car was likely a one-off chance.
We got real comfortable in that car. That snake made its home in there.
But she'll be checking under the seats every time she gets behind the wheel anytime soon.
I don't know what I would have done if I saw it while I was driving. I would have crashed the car.
Hard to remain calm when you have that in the backseat. We all need a snake guru on speed dial for that kind of emergency. In North Carolina, 2 people accused of stealing nearly 600, get this, Venus flytraps. This happened last month at a nature conservancy near Wilmington. Someone reported seeing the 2 people digging up the plants, and police caught up with the suspects at a nearby gas station. They reportedly found the plants in their backpacks. Law enforcement says the plants are starting to flower this time of year, and that makes them easier for the thieves to find.
They're an odd plant. People like to dig them and resell them, either on the black market or even locally sometime.
So the rare Venus flytrap is native to North Carolina. Stealing them, by the way, is a felony. When First to 4 returns, the growing push to make beauty products more inclusive. We'll explain when we come back.
Temperatures this afternoon have reached those middle and upper 70s, and that trend's going to continue for our work week, but rain chances are in the future. I'll have another check on your forecast coming up.
If there's anything...
Well, we've had a warm afternoon, saw temperatures reach those middle and upper 70s in some spots. Now, tomorrow, a little bit cooler. We're going to see those rain chances start to come into play later on in the afternoon, really more for the evening hours and overnight. Wednesday, definitely going to be a wet start, but good news is by the afternoon and overnight, conditions are going to clear out for us, but not before we see a decent amount of rainfall. Again, early Wednesday morning, we could see anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rainfall in places across the CSRA, but once we get through that, we'll be dry for the second half of our Wednesday. Thursday looking dry, but once we get into Friday and Saturday, that's when those rain chances will really start to increase, and those rain totals along with that could see anywhere from 3 to maybe even 4 inches locally. So again, that will be at the end of the day Saturday. So 2 chances of rain. I know there's 4 days on the 7-day showing rain, but it's going to be overnight events for most of those. Tuesday into Wednesday morning, Friday night into the day Saturday, Richard.
Pretty comfortable week ahead. Emily, thank you. You might know this if you've looked over your statements recently, but the cost of car insurance skyrocketed 26% from last year. Rachel DePompa spoke with Bankrate about that spike and how you can try to drive that price back down.
The national average cost of full coverage car insurance is now $2,543 a year, and that's the highest it's ever been. Bankrate studied this issue to see who's feeling the most pressure of these rising insurance costs. The average median household now spends about 3.41% of its money on vehicle insurance. Shannon Martin with Bankrate says there are several reasons why car insurance prices have spiked.
Once 2020 hit, we're seeing an increase due to inflation to car parts, healthcare supplies. Then we had over 10% increase in car crash fatalities, extreme weather. So all that together, insurance is reactionary, so we're paying for what happened a few years ago, basically.
Bankrate also found adding a teen driver to a policy can be the most expensive life event for auto insurance consumers. Nationally, it adds about $2,800 more than you were paying before for a teen driver. But Martin says there are some things that you can do to try to cut down costs.
Shop with other insurance carriers, see what they can offer. Since almost every insurance company has these increases, you might not see the same savings that you did before. So take a look at your discounts, do the defensive driving discount.
If the price is just too much, Martin says you can also see what coverages you don't need right now. She says look at towing and lockout and rental cars. You could temporarily remove those coverages for a few months just to get by. With this watching your wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
Also today, this Women's History Month, there's a growing push to make beauty products more inclusive. A 24-year-old chemist and PhD student in California is leading the charge. Her work aims to change the face of the beauty industry. She and her 8-member team formulate and test products made specifically for darker skin. She says her work is along the lines of what Rihanna did when she started Fenty Beauty.
I think what she did for the beauty industry is wild because all she did was help give shades to people that look like me. So I think the scientific counterpart to Rihanna is effectively what we're also trying to do too.
She hopes to encourage more scientists of color into the research and development aspects of the beauty industry. JetBlue Airways has pulled out of that deal to purchase Spirit Airlines. The decision comes in the middle of a federal court ruling blocking the deal on antitrust grounds. The Justice Department argued airfares could go up if Spirit was no longer an independent airline. Today, both parties issuing statements saying they would not be able to overcome legal obstacles to complete that merger. As part of the decision to end the deal, JetBlue agreed to pay Spirit $69 million. Apple facing a huge penalty for violating competition laws. The European Union fining the tech giant $2 billion. This stems from a claim by Spotify. The popular music streaming service says Apple required Spotify users and customers using other streaming services to pay a 30% fee if they paid through Apple's in-app payment system. Apple says the European Union did not uncover any credible evidence of consumer harm. It said app developers compete on a level playing field on the App Store. An annual hazard response exercise at Fort Gordon this week may cause some confusion and some delays. This week, expect increased security measures while coming and going to the installation. Hazardous response scenarios will be happening at various locations. You may even hear warning sirens and announcements while you're there on the Army post. You're going to hear exercise before each warning.
Well, rain chances increase as we go throughout our evening tomorrow, and that will last into Wednesday. But that's not the only chance we'll see rain. I'll have a check on your forecast coming up.
And also ahead first at 4, a surprise find for a fisherman up in Massachusetts. We'll tell you why the bomb squad got involved here.
When I was a Marine,
I guess you never know what's lurking at the bottom of a river. Take this, for example. A military projectile pulled out of the Charles River in Massachusetts. The potentially dangerous find was pulled to the surface by a magnet fisherman searching the water for objects using a strong magnet. State police called in the bomb squad to take care of it. But boy, Emily, you get a magnet and what could be something explosive. That's kind of a dangerous situation there.
Yeah, definitely sounds scary. That's all that I have to comment on this one.
Never know.
That's all I got for that. I want to tell you a little bit more about the forecast, though. go. This evening going to be a great evening to dine outdoors. We'll still be in those 70s until after sunset, then we'll slowly but surely drop off into those 60s and then bottom out in the 50s overnight tonight. But again, still a beautiful evening to head outdoors, maybe go for a walk or some outdoor dining, like I was saying. Definitely going to be a great evening for that. We'll start off our Tuesday in the 50s, so really not cooling off much overnight tonight. And we're going to have a warm start to our Tuesday, a dry start as well. That rain chance is not going to come into play until later on in the evening and into the overnight hours, and that's going to last through Wednesday, bringing us some rainfall totals around an inch in some spots. Not the only chance of rain. Once we get into Friday and Saturday, unfortunately, yes, another Saturday, it's going to be a little bit gloomy out there. We'll see those rain chances again increase and rainfall totals anywhere from 3 to maybe even 4 inches in some spots. And this week is where we will spring forward daylight saving week. It starts this weekend, again, Saturday into Sunday, but we have those 2 chances of rain. Really nice Thursday in store for us. Sunday, really not looking too bad. Temperatures will kind of drop back off to average for this time of year, which is in those upper 60s. We'll see those middle 60s by Monday. Overnight lows really not looking too drastic of a change there. We'll kind of just cruise in those 50s and then drop off a little bit for the start of our Monday, Richard.
Looks pretty good. That's going to wrap things up for First and 4 for this Monday afternoon. Live at 5 starts right after this break.
Introducing the first